Alright, so this remaster got leaked like a couple days ago, and I was going to make this video then, but I figured, you know what, I'll wait for the official announcement because the leak could be false, or hell, it might have some good news attached to it that would make this overall rant null and void. But no, the leak was true, and we got exactly what that leak represented. Tales of Xillia is the next one to get a remaster, and to make matters worse, it is just Tales of Xillia, no Tales of Xillia 2. And before I get into why this is such a terrible fucking decision, let me first say that I am a huge fan of Xillia. Please do not get me wrong. I love Xillia. Xillia is one of my favorite Tales games. I am one of the people that think Tales of Xillia has the best combat in the entire Tales franchise. More specifically, Tales of Xillia 2 because of Luger and his weapon switching and double trigger and all that cool shit. But even still, Tales of Xillia 1 is like basically the exact same game except no Luger. So the combat is really good. I love Tales of Xillia's combat. I love the story. I love the cast of characters. Mila is one of my favorite protagonists in the entire franchise. Alvin is one of my favorite characters in the entire franchise. Jude is probably my second favorite brawler to play across the entire franchise. Like, I love Xillia. So please do not get me wrong. I love Xillia. But this should not have been the game to get the next remaster. This is so blatantly lazy that it's infuriating. For starters, can we just talk about how we're only getting like PS3 era games for the remasters? Aside from Symphonia, which I'll get into why Symphonia was a bad choice in its own right, but we're so far only getting PS3 remasters. Tales of Vesperia was a good pick because I guess you can say that one really wasn't a remaster as much as a quote-unquote definitive edition. I mean, what's really the difference? But Tales of Vesperia was a good choice because that game never released on multiple platforms outside of Japan. In the US, it was only on Xbox, and even then Xbox 360. And the PS3 version was just, again, never released outside of Japan and had more content in it. So Tales of Vesperia being on multiple platforms now with all that additional content, that was good. That was no complaints there. I love Tales of Vesperia. That was a good decision. Tales of Graces, I was a little forgiving with Tales of Graces. That could just be personal bias, though, because, like, I do love me some Graces F. Do I think Graces F should have gotten a remaster before games like Rebirth, Abyss, Innocence, Hearts? No. But I do love Graces. So I was a little forgiving towards that. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe the next one will be one of the older games. Maybe the next one will be one of the legacy titles. And here we are with fucking Xillia. So no, we're still not getting any old titles. What the fuck are they doing? What is this? Why are they... Dude, it should be illegal to be this fucking lazy. And it's always Bandai Namco being this fucking lazy. This blatantly lazy, dude. Which is so... It's very confusing to me because I'm pretty sure the PS3 was notoriously very difficult to like emulate and get ports from or something like that. Whereas PS2 titles shouldn't be, but they just refuse to get any of the old PS2 titles. We're just going through all the PS3 shit first. Like at this rate, Tales of Zestiria is more likely to get a remaster first before even Tales of Innocence, Tales of Hearts, you know, the lesser known games like that. Fucking Tales of Zestiria, which mind you is playable on PS4, but it is a PS3 game, which a lot of people forget. Tales of Zestiria and Tales of Berseria are technically, by all accounts, PS3 games that have PS4 ports. So going off the logic of just remastering PS3 titles, and also Tales of Symphonia proves that being multi-platform does not stop you from being eligible for a remaster. Because look at all the fucking consoles you can play Tales of Symphonia on, but that still had to be the first game to get a remaster unless you count Vesperia's Definitive Edition. So we're at a point where fucking Zestiria could get a remaster before a game that actually fucking deserves it. Now, is that an exaggeration? Possibly. Am I reaching for the stars? Possibly. But you have to understand where I'm coming from. Because Bandai Namco is such a lazy-ass studio that I would not put a decision like that past them. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter, right, during the leaks, saying that, well, of course they're going to do Xillia because it's easier to get PS3 games on modern consoles. And again, I don't know the validity of that claim, like, because I could have sworn PS3 was a notoriously hard console to work with. I could be misremembering the context, but regardless of all of that, the PS3 can't possibly be any easier to work with than a fucking PS1 or a PS2. There is no excuse. There is no reason that Xillia should be on modern platforms before literally any game before Abyss. Realistically speaking. Okay? And not to mention, we are in an era where so many companies, mainly Square Enix, are doing a bunch of HD 2D remakes, right? Like the Bravely Default. Well, actually, I don't even know if Bravely Default is one of them. Don't quote me on that. But Dragon Quest 2 and Dragon Quest 3, I know they got one. Star Ocean 2 got that HD 2D remake, and that game is great, mind you. Star Ocean 2 remake, phenomenal. And I'm sure there's a lot more that's just not coming to my mind at the moment. But the point being here is we're getting a bunch of these, a whole lot of these, and Bandai refuses to be part of this trend. Tales of Rebirth is right fucking there. Tales of Rebirth is right there. They're not going to touch it. Tales of Fantasia, they're just not going to touch it. Tales of Destiny, Tales of Eternia, right there, all could be part of this trend. They're just not going to touch it. Because why would you put in that much effort when you could just port a PS3 fucking game? Look, to me, and I said this in my top 5 wanted Tales game video. I don't know if any of you seen that. Probably not. That video bombed, but it's okay. But I said this before. I think all of the older titles, and more so, the titles that never released outside of Japan should be prioritized. Because these are a ton of Tales games that majority of the world have never gotten to play, okay? It isn't like it's just a game trapped on a specific console. This is a game trapped on a specific console, trapped in a specific region. And to this day, majority of the fan base have not been able to play it. Not by legal means, at least. You can emulate it all you want, but still. Those are the games that need to be prioritized, not Xillia. Not something that a lot of people can play. Not something that a lot of people played. Not something that got released worldwide. Not something that only got released 2 console generations ago. I didn't mention Xillia in that last Tales video I did, but I knew in my heart that Xillia was probably the most likely candidate because of how lazy Bandai Namco is. I didn't mention it before, but I knew in my heart Xillia was the most likely candidate, but I was hoping that they would surprise me. And of course, they did not. Because you can never, ever expect Bandai Namco to put effort in for literally anything. And to make matters worse, like the biggest insult to injury, the salt to the wound, the part that makes this all even more frustrating than it already would have been. They won't even include Xillia 2 in this remaster. So now what's the course of action for the future? Will the next remaster be Xillia 2, putting even more older, inaccessible games on the back burner? Or are we just straight up never going to get Xillia 2 on modern platforms? This could go both ways, and neither are good decisions. If you were going to do Xillia 1, why would you not include Xillia 2? This company is so unbelievable. They've done this shit before. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, right fucking there for the PS3, had Symphonia 1 and Dawn of the New World. They didn't do that again for the Symphonia Remaster. Why? Just laziness. No other reason, just laziness. Look, I know Symphonia is not one of the favorite games amongst the franchise, one of the more disliked Tales games, I know. But the point is that it's still part of this Symphonia mythos. It's still another part of this franchise. It's still another entry. And now we're going to do this shit again. No Tales of Xillia 2. We're just going to act like that doesn't exist. And if it does come around, we're going to be paying an extra $40 for Tales of Xillia 2. And if that does get its own remaster, mind you, that's just still taking more time away from the games that actually deserve it. I am pretty low energy right now. I did just get out of bed not too long before this premiere. So believe me, I could be screaming and ranting a lot longer, but I'm awfully tired, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. This is the worst possible decision. We're getting the laziest pick possible, and we're not even getting it included with its sequel. Incredibly baffling decisions all around. You know, I shouldn't say baffling. It's not that it's baffling, because we all know why they did this. It's literally just laziness. There's no other excuse. There's no other reason. It's not about time. It's not about budget. There's no other reason besides laziness. This is just a lazy fucking company that's always been lazy and always will be lazy. They're going to cut every corner they possibly can before they give a damn about this fucking community. Before they give a damn about the people that got them to where they are today. They do not care about any of our opinions. They don't give a rat's ass what we want, what we think, what we like. They don't care. But they sure as shit want to make money wherever they can. And again, because of how much negative energy I put in this video, I do feel obligated to remind you once more, I am an Xillia fan. I do love Xillia, and I will be buying this shit. It's not like I'm saying don't buy it. It's not like I'm saying boycott or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, we're just going to wait another fucking year for another Talesof Remastered, which will probably be another game that doesn't deserve it. But either way, they're still going to do more of these, and they're still going to make horrible decisions, and they're still going to be lazy as shit. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I'll still be getting it. I love Xillia. But this was a terrible fucking decision. I hate this company. I hate Bandai Namco. If anyone from Bandai Namco is watching this, please just know I hate you with every fiber of my being, with all my heart and soul. I hate your company. I hate your entire company so much. All right, y'all be easy.